Are you ready for one of the biggest crypto events of 2021? Polkadot's Parachain Auctions just kicked off, giving us one of the biggest opportunities this year. Are you ready? Welcome to the Crypto Project. In all seriousness, you guys, this is a big event for crypto. And one that you miss, you might not have another opportunity to get in on these projects with staking your DOT for up to 2 years. Kusama, Dot's test network, already did these Parachain auctions. They're currently ongoing. They've done 13 of these. And some of these projects have already returned a 20x return. It's insane gains on auctions that just kicked off in June of this year. In today's video, we're going to give you guys a quick DOT overview. We're going to then jump into what is a parachain auction, how does it work, and then we're going to give you guys a step-by-step how-to on how you guys can use your DOT to participate in this parachain auction process. If you're already familiar with DOT, you guys are already wizards on parachain auctions. You know what they are, how they work. We've put timestamps in the video. Feel free to use those. Jump straight to the how-to if that's what you guys are here for. We want to make sure that you guys are able to use your time as best as possible. Before we go any further in this video, you guys, make sure you hit that subscribe button, give the video a like, make sure you turn on those notifications. We have a lot of good content coming for you. So what is DOT? If Ethereum, Solana, and Avalanche are what you'd consider as a layer 1 protocol, you might consider DOT something like a layer 0, even one layer below that. Maybe a foundational piece of crypto. Blockchains are built on top of Polkadot. Founded by Gavin Wood, a former co-founder and chief technology officer of Ethereum, so mildly qualified, DOT has climbed to number 8 in the overall market cap rankings. DOT's primary objective is to be a foundational building block of Web 3.0. They want to enable private and secure applications or flow of data that doesn't rely trusting on a third party or company to do the right thing. Their goal is to build a scalable network of multiple blockchains where each of those blockchains specialize in a singular purpose. To really simplify it, there are 3 core components of Polkadot. First, we have the relay chain. This is the heart and soul of Polkadot. It's responsible for shared security of the network, governance, and cross-chain interoperability or communication. These projects, they want to be able to talk to each other, and that takes tech. The relay chain does that. Then you have parachains. These are individual blockchains that have their own tokens. They can optimize their functionality for specific use cases such as DeFi. Moonbeam and Acala are 2 that are big front runners for the current auction. Seem like they're going to get some parachain slots, but these are 2 examples of a parachain. And then last, you have bridges. These allow parachains to connect and communicate with external networks, such as Ethereum or Bitcoin, to conduct smart contracts, transmit data, conduct transactions. I think you get the picture. So what makes DOT so attractive? Well, really, it's this ability to allow these parachains to focus on what they're good at. Think of it as these parachains are outsourcing their security and their interoperability or communications. That takes a significant amount of time and resources. 1, to get the validators all set up. 2, to develop the tech to be able to communicate with these blockchains. All of this is done by Polkadot in-house. And so as a parachain, I'm outsourcing that to Polkadot. They take care of all the dirty work for me. And in return, I get to free up all my time, money, and resources to really focus in on what it is that I'm good at as a project. And lastly, what makes Polkadot so attractive is scalability. Gavin Wood has claimed, I think, 167,000 transactions per second or just under it. And maybe at full scale, they can hit 1 million transactions per second. To put that into perspective a little bit, Bitcoin is currently hovering around like 5 to 7, ETH 15 to 25. Visa is capable of 65,000 transactions per second. But really, they only need about 1,800. So really what this means is speed, the ability to handle bandwidth, and the ability as Web 3.0 grows, Polkadot's got it covered. Okay, enough about DOT. Let's jump into the parachain auction process. Projects are competing against each other for a spot on the DOT network, or one of the parachain spots we just talked about. These spots are limited. So instead of a free-for-all or a first-come, first-serve, DOT's holding a parachain auction. So it's going to be able to go to the highest bidder, but there are some twists. Winners of these auctions will be able to lease a parachain slot for a 2-year period, where they'll be able to build out their project on the DOT network. So what are the benefits of the auction process? Why is Polkadot doing this when outside of their canary network, Kusama, not a lot of other people are? Well, first, auctions serve as a barrier to entry for parachains. Projects have to win spots while competing against other projects to lease that spot. Ensures projects have significant skin in the game, as it will be extremely competitive to win these spots. Second, these are long-term leases, 2 years. Ensures projects are in it for the long haul, that they're focused on a long-term vision and not just making a quick buck today. And helps ensure that projects who are competing for spots are focused on bringing long-term sustained value to the DOT community and ecosystem. Third, it reduces risk of low quality projects getting in there and maybe scamming the community. I'm sure you guys have heard of rug pulls or scams that can happen in crypto. Basically, when you totally remove the barrier entry, like on ETH, anyone can create an ERC20 token. You open up the possibility of projects entering without the best intentions. And it also serves as a means to reward the DOT community through token distribution of parachain candidates. So if you're part of the DOT community, you hold some DOT, you can pledge that as part of this auction process. You will be locking up that for 2 years. I'll get into that in just a second. But you will be rewarded for that. And it's just a way to pass that value onto their community specifically. While this is a really novel idea and really cool, there are some cons, I think, in my mind. One, it's a 2-year lockup. This is a long-term commitment. So everyone kind of thinks we're in a bull run. I think we're in a bull run. However, I'm going to be locking up my DOT for the next 2 years if I decide to participate. This has some downside. That means I can't exit DOT before the bull run ends and we see some sort of big correction. And so who knows where DOT's going to be price-wise 2 years from now, and I'm not going to be able to exit that DOT position from now until then. It is totally locked up for 2 years. Second, you run the risk of the projects you're backing, these parachains, not delivering. In every case, these guys don't have finished projects just ready to launch on day one. They're going to need to be doing some further validating, some further testing, some further development. And you run the risk of that project either one, not delivering, or two, they deliver something that's slightly different than what they thought they were going to do. Maybe their vision just doesn't ever get materialized, and really they fall short of what they're promising. And then last, you can stake your DOT right now without having to participate in the auction for about 15% in terms of an annual percentage return. So that has no 2-year lockup. And so you really need to make sure the goal here should be, if you're participating in the auction, you're going to exceed that 15% or whatever percent you can find out there for staking your DOT. So if you're not getting more gains than that, you're coming out way behind here. Not only are you locking up your DOT for 2 years, that's bad. Staking, it's locked up, but you can unstake it at any point in time. You're not getting the same gains you would be just staking. You're coming out with less money in the long run. So before we jump into how this auction is going to work for you specifically, the viewer, let's maybe look at how these auctions are going to work for the projects that are actually participating in them. So Polkadot has decided to use a candle auction system. This is something that comes from, I don't know, maybe like the 1600s. And it is essentially the auction dates are known. You have the starting date, and then you have an ending period, which has a start and end date. And the ending date of the auction is not necessarily the last date of the ending period. It's actually a retroactive end date that no one knows about that happens at some point within the ending period. So if the ending period in this, for how it's going to work for DOT, is 5 days, it could be done 4 hours into it. Hopefully that's not what they do. But maybe it's 3 days in, or 4 days in, or 6 hours before the last 5th day is going to be the ending point. And when the results are in at that exact point in time, that's who wins the auction. And one of the reasons why they've done this is so people can't game this. I'm sure maybe you've been on eBay trying to get something you really, really want, and you have that highest bid and it's just counting down and you're almost there. And then all of a sudden at the last second, someone comes in and snipes it for a higher price. Well, this is to help prevent that. They wanted to take as much game theory out of this as possible and just ensure that people are coming in with their best bid right out of the gate. So let's go through an example. Here we have a starting period. It's like 2 days. It's already gone by. Great. We're now in the ending period. It's a 5-day time. No one knows when this auction is really going to end or when it ends until at the end of the auction, they'll say, hey, the auction ended actually at 3 days and 6 hours. Here's the results. So in this example, Acala, one of the big projects that are vying for an auction spot, I'm pretty confident they're going to get at least one of them, or they will get one of them. They come out strong out of the gate and they say, hey, we're going to bid 20K DOT. It's probably crowdsourced by their community who've all pledged their DOT. They say, hey, we really want it. Here's 20K. Moonbeam then comes in a little bit later and they say, nah. We got 25K DOT. Our community is going ham. Let's go. And then right before the auction ends, Mana comes in and they say, you guys are idiots. Here's 40K DOT. Give me that auction spot. Boom. Mana wins, right? Well, not so fast. When the bidding period ends, Then it'll get announced, hey, when did the auction actually end? And in this example, you guys can see there's a little arrow, the retroactive ending block. That actually determined when it ended. And it was before Mana came in, went ham with their bid of 40K. And so Mana actually, even though they had the highest bid, doesn't win. And so in this case, Moonbeam would win the auction. I wanted to pop in here and clarify one thing. I had a question about this, so I'm guessing you might as well. This retroactive ending block, let's say there's still a day left after that. What happens if I decide to help support, in this example, Moonbeam, during that day period after the auction actually was technically over? Well, what's nice about that is that still counts as contribution. So even though it necessarily wouldn't have been needed, you're still eligible for all the rewards you would normally get as if you would have participated on like day one. So if there's really not a whole lot of downside until waiting until like the last moment, especially as like retail where you're not going to really sway the vote too much one way or the other, then you're going to know exactly what rewards you're at and then be able to make the best decision for you, and you don't run the risk of not being included in the snapshot or whatever it is in terms of getting rewards. Okay, so everyone on Moonbeam is hype. You guys just won the first auction slot on DOT. This is a historic achievement. But let's cut to the Manta network.
They ask you how you are, you just have to say that you're fine when you're not really fine, but you just can't get into it because they would never understand.
Hold on. Let's not feel too bad for him. The auctions occur in 2 batches. The first batch is auctions 1 through 5. The second is 6 through 11. So when you pledge your DOT to support a project, you are locking that up for the first batch. If you do it in batch 1, it's locked up through auctions 1 through 5. So Mana Network still has a shot. All that 40K DOT or whatever it was that we did in our example, that's still valid, and that would count towards auction 2. So really, you're hoping that a project, if they're participating in batch 1, wins one of those top 5 spots. So Moonbeam and Acala are like head and shoulders above everyone else right now. So it seems like they're going to likely be the first 2, but spots 3, 4, and 5 are super tight. So when you pledge, you're locking it up for 5 auctions. It gives the project a chance to win one of those spots. However, if they don't, they will have the option to participate in future auctions if they want. But if your project doesn't win any of the auctions in batch 1, and that's when it was, you as the individual user who has pledged your DOT, you will get all of your DOT back at the end of batch 1. So it's essentially like a 5-week vesting period where you've pledged this DOT, can't do anything with it during that time. But at the end of that, you'll get all your DOT back. So you're not out if your project didn't win. You might have a few tiers there, but that's okay. All right, now let's walk through this process as an individual contributor, not from a project standpoint. So step 1 is either going to be depositing your DOT or buying DOT. You can either get it on exchanges. I use Coinbase Pro. It's the easiest for me, but yours could be wherever you want. So that's step 1, is acquiring it. You have to deposit a minimum of 5 DOT to contribute towards one of these auctions. So I shamelessly ripped this off Kraken, so there's literally no shame to my game. So I'm going to just kind of walk you through the steps that they've outlined. So number 2 is you put your DOT on your Kraken account, whatever. We can use a wallet. This is not available to people in the US. Other exchanges have this as well. This is not just Kraken, but Kraken does have some pretty cool features. They allow you to instantly unstake your DOT for non-auction stuff. But anyways, I'm getting sidetracked here. So anyways, when you're in there, you now need to contribute your DOT to the Parachain auction. And in this example, they've kind of highlighted Acala. So you contribute, let's say you have 5 DOT, the minimum here. You contribute your 5 DOT to Acala. That is locked up like we just covered for batch 1. That's auctions 1 through 5, 5-week period. Great. So let's say they lose the first auction, but they win the second. So successful auction right here in between steps 3 and 4. And now step 4, your DOT is bonded. So it says 3 months to 2 years. That 3 months will be, there's like a leasing option that's much shorter coming in the future. So your DOT, your 5 DOT is going to be locked up for 2 years. It's going to be bonded by the network. That DOT cannot be touched by Acala. It is just basically locked up. And essentially the cost of these auctions is the opportunity cost of what you could be doing with that DOT. It just takes it out of circulation and it just sits there for 2 years. So what happens now at step 4 is your Acala, you get some staking, you get some auction rewards. And so each project is different. You'll need to look into those specifically in terms of which ones you're interested in participating in. But typically you get X amount of, in this case, ACA per dot you contribute. So let's make this up to make it easy on me. You get 5 ACA for every dot you get. So we would be getting 25 ACA because we stake 5 dot. Usually it's some percentage of those is available to you immediately after the auction is done. So it's usually like 20 to 30%. Let's say it is 20%. So that would be 5 ACA out of your 25 that you're due is immediately unstaked and available to you once it's usually when the project launches. And so that's sent into your wallet. You can now do with that whatever you want to do. You can hold it, you can sell it, your choice. That's now sent back to your wallet. It says Kraken wallet here because of Kraken, sorry. But anyways, it'll go to your wallet. Now, the rest of your 20 ACA that's due to you will be unlocked in increments over your 2-year period. So you're going to get basically a little bit at a time as that 2 years goes on. And eventually at the end of 2 years, you will have gotten all 25 ACA and your dot will become unbonded. And so you'll get your 5 dot back at the end of the 2-year period. You've now made 25 ACA. Congratulations, you've participated in the Parachain auction on dot. All right, enough of the boring stuff. Let's get into this. How exactly do you participate in the auction process? I think that's what we all want to know. We want to get those sweet, sweet gains. So let's get into it. The first one is through centralized exchanges. You guys probably already have accounts at Kraken or Binance, and you can actually participate in the dot auction process directly through your exchange. There's some bad news. US residents, not eligible. In addition to the US not being able to participate through central exchanges, you also miss out on, really, there's 2 main features. One, there are some bonuses. If you do the Crowdloan like directly through projects, they might have like a 5% bonus or something like that. You're likely not going to get that, or you won't get your full portion of that if you do it through your centralized exchange, or at least it's not guaranteed. And 2, some exchanges will take a fee for participating in the auction process. So Kraken, last I looked, they're taking 5% of the rewards that you're going to be due, and that's going to them for facilitating that process. While some exchanges might take a fee, this is Binance. I was just checking it. Once again, I can't participate in this because I'm in the US. But if you scroll down here, you can just vote right here. So it looks like it's a pretty easy process. Once again, I'm not going to be able to go through this process. But I was looking in their FAQ, and it does look like they are not taking a fee. And actually, it looks like there's maybe some extra bonus by going through this with Binance. So I would encourage you guys to check this out if you're able to trade on Binance.com. If you're not in the US, this might be a really good option for you guys to participate. The second option is to go through Polkadot directly. So you can go to their website, Polkadot.JS. It's the homepage for the Parachain auction process. You'll see all the candidates that are up for the batch 1 auctions. And you're going to be able to just pick and choose out of all the projects that you want that are participating, which ones you want to back. So that's kind of like a one-stop shop. That's the real big plus there. The one drawback is you're not guaranteed to get those community bonuses or maybe the referral bonuses that projects might offer, specifically if you go right through their crowdsource page. And the third and final option is go through the Crowdloan page specific to the project. There's really no downside. I guess I say that a little bit tongue in cheek. The one downside is if you want to go this route, you have to go through each individual project's Crowdloan page. So if you want to participate and back Moonbeam, you got to go to the Moonbeam website and go through that process. Then if you want to do Acala as well and back both projects in round 1, okay, then you got to go to the Acala page. So you got to go to multiple different places, whereas Polkadot.JS, you can just go there. It's one page. They're all listed there. But if you go through the Crowdloan pages for the specific projects, that's your best way to maximize your returns. You're going to be able to see what bonuses you might get. There might be some referral bonuses, potentially. You guys can look around for those. And then also my favorite and part about it personally is on each Crowdloan page, you're going to be able to estimate your rewards. So these rewards are going to change based on how many people have backed the project. So they have a set amount of their token supply kind of set aside to reward token holders who back them in the auction process. So the more people that back them, the less that reward is going to be because you're spreading out a pie against a much larger crowd. All right, now that we've gone over the 3 different ways we can participate in the Parachain auction process, I'm going to walk you guys through the 2 that I can participate in. So I can't walk you through the exchanges with me being in the US. So here I am. I am on Polkadot's homepage. This is Polkadot.network. This is their main website here. I'm going to just click this About Auctions page.
This gives you a little infographic here. If you scroll down, it kind of shows you how auctions work. You guys are already experts on that. If you're this far into the video, timetable, the batches, blah, blah, blah. Talks about crowd loans. And there's also a little video here. If you guys are choosing to participate in this, I would recommend just watch this. You're watching this video, maybe watch another one. Just make sure you're really familiar with this. This has some really good info in it that's from Polkadot itself. And so for me, I'm going through, one thing I always like to do is go through the official site page. That way I make sure I'm not clicking any like links that are scams or anything like that. So I'm going to click this Polkadot.JS link. We'll do this one first, and then we'll do the other one. So this takes me to the Polkadot.JS kind of app. And so it's going to initialize this extension. Hopefully this doesn't take too long. There we go. Okay, so if you go to networks, we can go to parachains down here in this drop down, and then if you go to crowd loans. So this will show you the ongoing crowd loans and who's contributing. As you can see here, Moonbeam is currently in first, then Acala. So you have your projects listed here, whether or not it's active and they're accepting contributions to the auction. Basically just a bunch of information. So you can see here that I can't click this contribute button. That's because I haven't set up my Polkadot.js wallet. So we're going to have to do that first. All right. To create a Polkadot.js account, if you go to accounts right here, you can hit this account button right here. And then we will hit this Polkadot.js extension. This is just adds it to Chrome. This is very similar to how like MetaMask and other things work. So I'm going to go ahead and hit that. Add to Chrome. Add extension. Boom. It's been added. Sweet. So refresh this. We'll see if it pops up. So it gives us a little welcome before we start. Just a couple of notes regarding use. We don't send any clicks, whatever, blah, blah, blah. I'm going to hit understood. Let me continue. It then shows me this is like the very first thing that pops up. So one or more extensions are detected. That's that Polkadot.js extension. However, no accounts have been injected. So I'm going to hit add account. It gives you a mnemonic seed phrase that helps you recover it. You want to store that, write it down somewhere or somewhere very secure. Anyone who has this is going to be able to get access to your account and take all your money. So you definitely don't want that. It is a new account, so you have to give it a name, a password. So we will go through this process and then I will be right back. All right, so I created an account. I wrote down my seed phrase, put in my password, created a password. Now I got to create an account. So I hit the little browser plugin. I'm going to hit this create account button. I'm going to go ahead and do this and then I'll be right back. This will give you, once again, another seed phrase, all that good stuff. So you obviously don't want to do this on the internet. All right. As you can see here, I was able to successfully set up an account. Just as an FYI, I had got another seed phrase and another password for that account. So not for you. And now I have this, and according to the Polkadot video I watched that shows you how to create an account, you're looking for this to say injected. So that means your account's up and ready to go. As you can see, I have 0 DOT in my balance. Remember from previously, you need a minimum of 5 DOT in order to participate in the Parachain auction process. So when you're doing the crowd loan, you can't contribute less than 5, but it doesn't need to be in increments of 5 beyond that. So another really key tip, this is super important, you guys. I don't want you guys to lose money. The video I watched states that you need to have at least a minimum of 1 DOT in your wallet. If you have between 0 and 0.99, it's basically going to say, for some reason, this is so stupid, it'll just take it and they call it reaped. I don't understand. I don't know exactly why. So basically make sure you have a minimum of 1 DOT in this wallet if you're going to be keeping DOT in it. For the purposes of this, I'm going to just add like probably 1.5 extra DOT. We're going to have some gas fees. I just want to make sure I stay above 1 and I don't want to lose my DOT. So, all right, now I'm going to need to get some DOT in here. As you can see, if you pull this down, this is my wallet address. And so I'm going to be basically sending dot from my Coinbase account. You can withdraw it. I can use that address specifically to send it to, and then hopefully it'll show up. All right, as you guys can see, I now have 12 dot in my balance. Why 12? Well, I'm going to do 5 for this Polkadot.JS kind of route. I'm going to do 5 on the Crowdloan on a project specific page. And then I want that 2 because I need some for gas. It's super minimal for gas on dot. And then I want to make sure I have a minimum balance of 1. All right, we are back on the Polkadot.js site. This is the Crowdloan page. I already showed you how to get here. I'm going to just contribute. I'm going to show you guys the exact steps on how to contribute to Acala. We're going to use that as an example. I'm doing that one because I want to be able to do it, one, through Polkadot.js, and I wanted to be able to do it through the homepage of the project. So Moonbeam actually does not allow you to contribute through their project homepage if you're in the US. So that one's not an option to us. Once again, I'm just going to use Acala as an example for this. This is not financial advice. I'm not endorsing Acala by any means. This is more just to show you guys how to do it. A little bit of a shameless plug here. Me and Leonard are going to be doing a video specific on what projects we like, where we think there might be some benefits or opportunity here. So stay tuned for that one. But for the focus of this video, we're really just going to focus on the how-to here. So if you hit contribute, this has tripped me up before. I didn't realize what I was doing. So I actually had to create an extension where my dot is actually housed versus this one. So if you click here, that's where my dot is actually there. That might trip you up as well. You hit the continue button here. You really want to see 2 things. One, this crowdloan.contribute. That's really what you're focusing on, making sure that it shows correctly. I'm not going to include a tip for the block author, and then making sure it's coming from the right wallet. So if I hit sign and submit, it's going to ask me for my password. So I've put in my password. We're going to just remember it for the next 15 minutes to make it easy. And I'm going to hit sign the transaction. So it's now saying broadcast here. Hopefully in a second, it will show me that it was successful. So there you go. That's how you do it here on Polkadot.js. If you'll look now, it'll show you my contributions. So I now have 5 dot that I have now locked up for the next 2 years, staking or supporting Acala in their Crowdloan efforts. So now we're going to go to the homepage here. This is Acala once again. And we're going to hit join the Crowdloan. Takes a second to load. All right, we're here. I'm going to hit contribute now. This takes us to the 4 ways to participate. There's contribute directly. This basically, you're going to give your dot. You're going to get your ACA rewards. You're going to get a dot token that you're going to be able to basically give back in 2 years' time, where you're going to get your 5 dot back, or in my case, 5 dot. You might do more. When you do this, very basic. They have 2, contribute and stay liquid. I'm going to come back to this one. 3, use an exchange. They have the exchange listed here, and then use a wallet. Contribute and stay liquid. If you guys have watched our Abracadabra money video where we covered MIM, very similar concept here. So this is basically saying, hey, I'm going to give my dot to the liquid Crowdloan vault managed by Acala. I'm going to get my ACA rewards like I normally would. I'm going to get a liquid Crowdloan dot token. So it's like kind of like a, hey, I've participated in this. It's showing that hey, I've given my 5 dot, I've participated in the auction process. You can then swap that out for like a stable coin, and then you get access to the funds that you have locked up. And then at the end of the period, you would need to reverse the process to get your 5, their LC dot is what it's called. You need to get those back to be able to get your dot back. So just be aware that this is an option. This is the way I'm going to go. You guys know I love to be able to use utility of my interest-bearing assets. So I've selected contribute and stay liquid. It's going to ask me, I've installed the Polkadot.js browser. I have dot in my account, and it is not bonded. So I'm going to hit connect. Awesome. So I'm going to just do 5 dot to contribute. Keep it consistent with the other one. It's giving me an estimated reward range, 15 to 25.9 ACA. Pro tip, you guys, if you want to wait until like very close, maybe the last day of the ending period before you do this, that will give you the most accurate amount of rewards you're going to get. Just if you're interested. It's going to tell me what I'm going to get back in terms of LC dot. It's going to ask for a referral code. So referral codes, if you were on the wait list before like October 12th, you would get a 10% referral code that you could also share with others and then get 5% from them. All right, I put in a referral code, gave them my email. I don't want email communications. And I'm going to hit check rewards. Oh, never mind. That's going to just basically see if you had a referral code, you could put it in there and you could see how many people have used yours. So I'm going to hit submit contribution. Fingers crossed this works. All right, now I got to enter my password. I gave it my password. I hit sign and it has confirmed. All right, the little timer is almost done. Congratulations and thank you for supporting Acala. So and this is now my new dot balance. I've now contributed 10 dot to them. So that's pretty cool. So I will actually have a referral code right here. And so I will provide that in the description below. Do not feel obligated to use it whatsoever. If you guys are going to support Acala and you want a referral code, that'll be there for you. That'd be cool. But once again, you don't need to. Okay, so that was it, you guys. That was both options. Very easy, pretty straightforward. Once again, take your time as you guys go through this. Watch some how-tos. Rewatch this video if you need to. Make sure you're very comfortable with it. Make sure you guys are doing your due diligence on these projects. Just don't ape in. Know that you're locking this up for a substantial amount of time. But this is a super exciting opportunity, you guys. Hopefully some of these, if you guys do participate, your bags pump. If you made it this far, you watched through the video, we really appreciate you. Drop a comment, let us know if you have any questions. We're trying to get to every single comment we get. And with that, I hope you guys have a great week.